We went live, and we are live. And it's all
Ad
coming.
break!
Well, yeah, we need to wait for the ad break, but that it has to first do the pop-up, because if I do it too early, Twitch says that one didn't count. And I'll be like, but that one didn't count. But that one didn't. Fuck you, Bezos. Ah, there's the ad break. Pressing ad break button. Ad break in progress. At least we won't have for at least an hour some ads. At least it's been within a minute, so that's good.
Yay! So, everyone enjoying the breezy afternoon, evening?
Yes.
Yes. And 10, and a 9, and a 7, and a 6, and a 5,
Where'd
and a
it go?
3, and a 2, and a 1, and a 0. 7 was convicted. Because 7 tried to eat 9, but failed. Hello everyone, break over. So we are live after 2 minutes of bullshittery. And we're live with D&D, with your Dungeon Master, Kotlol, your DM Dungeon Master, Terror of Fate, Devious, forget it. Anyway, today we are joined by our infamous, not so infamous, but also not so famous group, as we know it, Ozius.
Your intro's way worse than normal. That's saying something.
We are joined
Hi.
we are joined by Raz.
Hello there.
We are joined by Nalona.
Hello, everyone.
And we're joined by a Poppy.
Hello!
We would also be joined by a Lier, but they are running late. Which they should have told us. But hey. Not the worst thing in the world. Anyway, time for the recap. Last time... Session notes? Why were you blank? Thank you, session notes, for being blank for a moment. I don't know why. Last time... The group continued trading in this realm of the genie. And thus, everyone had their own ways of going about. Poppy, for one, asked Erica for some help, then learned about the heart of the realm, touched the vein, and then was able to trade the power for the power of ultimate familiars. Congratulations, you have a familiar. Ilona kept training under Hemomancy, and that went well. Raz decided, you know what? I want every level 1 spell there is for a wizard to learn. Is there a way? Yes. And it took him all the day and night to even write those down. He was tired. Ozzy has decided, I'm just gonna pray and meditate and make sure nobody dies. Even though they can't fully die, but you know, they don't stay injured. And Liana, they also decided to learn some heavy duty spells. Alona failed her training that day, so she was out cold, so Ozzy had to treat her. And everyone else was able to do the right thing otherwise. The next day, then Ozzy did some training and was able to learn to aim better. Good job, Ozzy. The third day, more training. Alona took a long rest. Raz decided to teach Erica to cook, of all things, which succeeded. Turns out it's a very good thing. And Leah decided to do some constitution training by eating Leah's gross food. After more training,
Gross food.
Erica's gross food.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Then, and that training went well. The next day came along. Leah got some training done. Oz got some training done. It all went pretty well. Although I decided I want to have Garrix on my team to kill my father. And well, they went to the Hard Realm to contact Garrix, but Alona didn't do her research and decided to throw a fireball into the Realm of Fire, hoping Garrix would get the message.
Someone else did.
Well, someone else did. It was indeed Friti by the name of now Fov. Or FOV, whatever you want to call him. Poppy was learning more things from her familiar. And finally, Raz, you want a way to increase your familiar's timing like Poppy did. You learned a few ways, and you learned some more backstory about Poppy's race from the Archmage's development cycle. And then you're like, I want something specific. And then you ask the question, and then the book asks from whose perspective, and you look from Erica's perspective. And then you found the book about how to create divine beings and empowering them on a very special occasion, and you were able to make a copy of it and absorb it. With the library pretty much pointing out that the owner of the library does not control its fate, or something like that. After Raz like, you will not see me for the rest of the day, and closed the door. With that said, you all decide to take a rest for the rest of the day, I believe. And Raz, you're still gonna also take the rest of the afternoon to be staying in your room, right?
Yeah, I want to read over what I've found.
So what do you want to, so you get to do some investigatory thinking, investigatory reading. Before we go on, what kind of information are you trying to extract exactly from the second copy of the book?
Good question. I guess I'll look up anything else in relation to Poppy's race for a start.
But which book? But you only took the book on top of the ladder. You also take the book about familiars.
Yeah, I've got the.
Okay. Okay, and I didn't write that down that you took it, but you're allowed to take it with you, so whatever. So you're looking for that, for more about Poppy's race.
Yes.
Anything specific about that?
Probably just anything I can find at this point. Anything of use in general.
Yeah, but what is of use? Like, you can say anything of use, yeah, and it can be anything, but I want you to be a bit more precise so I can shrink the rolls for you. If you go now, you're gonna have to do some flat roll, some roll that you might not want to have.
Okay, more details into the creation, man.
Sorry?
More details into the creation
Okay.
of the race.
Okay. More details in the creation. You got 2 things to roll for that. Well, actually 3 even. One is, of course, Arcana, very logically, because you're going to think for the Arcana. No, that's the wrong one. The other 2... Let me check. You can roll an Arcana to go for the magical nature of it. You can just do a investigation check, but you will not get something precisely. You will get more a more synopsis of it. And you can roll insight if you want to understand more about the creation, the thought process behind it. Because you're inciting the knowledge that is written.
I'll try the insight. Why not?
Okay. Roll me an insight. 14. You take the book about the familiars and pretty much ties to Poppy's race, and you try to gauge the thinking about it. You try not to fully understand the magic, since you're trying to gauge what the thought process behind the development towards Poppy's race. So, the things you gauge is the fact that did they first try to make their familiars more humanoid and more useful, that they can do things and extend the time and that kind of thing. So first with trinkets, then later by trying to do polymorph on it and keeping it up, but also keeping the spell up. But that became more of a magical mess and, well, counterspell, and any type of dispel would just make a mess of it. Also, hello, Lier. Yeah?
Hey, I'm here now. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, you just missed the intro and Raz looking into a book of Poppy Trace, so I'm doing some luring stuff.
Yeah, the cat went outside without our knowing, so we had to get it back.
Yeah, we have a cat that can't go outside right now as well, so don't worry. That's understandable.
No, but it escaped. It opened the door.
Yeah.
But we got it back, so it's fine.
Good.
Awesome.
Anyway, I'll continue. So they were busy with the familiars, trying to make them more powerful servants and that kind of thing. And then they're like, familiars are too limited. You have to summon actual more creatures, but that's more hard. So you'd rather have a familiar. So it's like, what if we could take a normal human being and bind the familiar into them so they've merged together somehow? That was their next thinking process. They did succeed in these methods, but they needed binding stones in some sort of way. And eventually they kept developing it, and every step along the way, the magic output increased, and they were able to stabilize. Oh, gonna get a bit of coffee. Got my headphones on. Okay. Eventually, you learn. Eventually, they found more ways to bind more powerful magics into these humanoid familiars, and they hit a limit, and to bypass that limit, they started looking for ways to grow parts on these humanoid familiars to increase their magic levels to be more nearing the level that the archmages wanted. And from inside, you can gain that the max that we're able to hit was at a level 16 wizard.
Ooh, okay.
And this would also extend their life, but there were caveats with this method because the magic was sometimes beyond level 16 and the bodies couldn't handle it, so they had to think more, so their lifespan became unstable. And they were infertile. Assumingly. That's what you gain from insight. From the Arcana level, you don't know what they did, but you understand their thinking patterns. It's like they kept adding, they kept increasing the magic, making more powerful familiars that they could, use and even summon towards them as the archmages. Because if your minions are almost as powerful as you can do things. And the reason why it's as useful, but you also understand that they also probably did this to increase their full magical capacity as a people. Like, oh, I'm a level 20 plus wizard. and now I can summon a level 16 wizard to my side. My magic has essentially doubled at that point. That's how you would see it in as insight in the world.
Fair enough.
So you start to see how the archmages started thinking. Like, they weren't just using these minions because they were powerful minions that could do a lot of work and such. They also did it because they wanted to increase their total magic output. And you probably tied it already together with this 14 insight with already with your knowledge. Yes, it was to increase the possibilities for them to use one of the methods to empower the divine being and, you know, go against Mistra. But there's still some thinking that you're not fully understanding why. Like, why this method specifically? You don't understand that part of their thinking. Why this method specifically? Why didn't they try other methods? Or why didn't Erica pick that up? You feel like that's still missing. Like, this, you understand the way they went, but you're missing some steps in between.
Hmm.
You're missing the logical steps, like what else did they try, or those kind of things are just lost to you right now. I'll let you roll one more thing for answers, and then you're done.
Let's go for investigation this time.
So you want more synopsis of everything. You don't want to be precise.
You know, fine. He took me into it. See if I can. See if I can. No. No.
Trinkets. And you get to the next step of the infusion. You start looking at it, and it's a bit too complex for you, but you do understand that the way they do it is kind of putting a familiar in a non-magical human is what they mostly did. Or humanoid. You don't know if it's human or humanoid. And it kind of gets lost in you, but you do know that yes, you could technically do this and find a way to binding, but it needs a binding thing, and then you're reading about the binding, like, I don't get this binding thing. Like, and then you read about the rune stones that they use to keep the magic flowing correctly through the body. You're like, I don't know. Do I look like a doctor? I don't understand that of magical things. You pretty much become lost from that point on.
Yeah,
The
I
only
mean,
thing you
I
could,
became
the
conflicted
minimum you
with-
could get out of it, there is a way for a familiar and a humanoid to somehow fuse, but you cannot be but you're not sure if you have to be the master or that someone else can do it for you. That you have to be someone else.
Yeah, I mean, I got into wizardry through stealing a spellbook and dabbling. There's lots of arcana stuff, related stuff that's beyond me. So, fine, brick wall for now.
Okay. Yeah, everyone else is resting. So, are we ready to go into day 5?
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
Sure.
Everyone else, the only one who I think still wanted was Raz. I believe. Lauren, did you want to do something for a second training? I didn't check with you because I see everyone else is resting, but for you it didn't have any notes. Did you still gonna rest after summoning Faf, or did you want to do something for your second training session?
I'm gonna chat with Faf to become more familiar with him.
So you want to talk with Faf. Okay, you want to go for that quickly, or do you want to roleplay it out fully while others might be there?
It's fine.
No, I'm asking, do you want to do the roleplay thing so that anyone nearby, like Ozzius, Poppy, and Leah, can interject? Or do you just want to have some quick answers from some simple questions?
The last.
The last? So you just want to go through it quickly. Okay, can ask you some questions. I will just give fast answers. And I will tell if you have to roll for it or not.
So what's it like in the Fire Realm, your home?
Fire.
Uh,
Warm.
some say it is hotter than the flames of Inferno itself. Others say they don't mind it. It is hot, destructive, and always changing shape.
Mortals ever go there? Would they survive?
Yes and yes, but most come prepared to come to the elemental plane of fire. So, some seek power, some seek to find some things, others are on a noble quest to slay a fire elemental that once destroyed their city.
How does a mortal get to the Fire Realm?
They plane shift. Powerful magic users simply learn it and plane shift. Some even pass through the plane of fire to avoid being caught or attacked by something more powerful than they can handle.
Do you have any friends?
You cut off so bad, and it really sells it.
Yeah. He just laughs at that. Friend is a funny term to us.
Why?
This one actually Erica answers. They only care about using one another. It is in their nature.
Fair enough. I mean, that's what we've been doing to each other.
Whoa! Someone's showing their lawful evil side all of a sudden.
No, what's up? What's up? Puff and me. We have a deal. Using
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Anything else?
I want to ask him for advice on what I should train to get revenge. Because we still have some time left.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, well, I did a sneaky roll, but you know what? Guess what he rolled? The number be green. The answers depends on what you wish to do. Do you wish to make your the one you wanted to burn suffer for a long time? Or do you wish to erase them as soon as you see them?
I wish to make him suffer for sure. Gives me some time to question him.
There might be a combination of spells that would... Yes, a combination of spells that would, once he goes down, would bring him back to life and burn him instantly, keeping a perpetual cycle of dying and living at will.
That sounds like the perfect punishment for him. What spells are they?
Nothing normal mortals can cast, but perhaps there could be a variation of some sort. Yes, by being in this realm, you would have the time to learn that, if you're willing.
I am. Can you help me?
Hold on. You need to persuade him. Quick persuasion check.
Okay.
He smirks. Ah, yes, I can teach you. Though it does require one specific component. And he looks at Erica. Tell me, is this realm equipped to be able to procure a phoenix feather? Erica looks at him. He just closes his eyes and sighs. Of course it can. How else would you think this realm can avoid death? It is but one method. And then he smirks. Then, tomorrow we will practice this. Hopefully, it will not be too intense on your psyche.
See?
Okay, you're gonna learn a homebrew spell, but it's gonna be fun.
Okay. And I could rest for a bit as well.
Oh yeah, this is actually a 2 for spell. Anyway, I think everyone else wants to rest.
Yep.
Okay. We're going to day 5, people. Day 5. Say hello to day 5.
Lovely.
Anyone who had exhaustion, you don't have any more periods. So anyone get rid of your exhaustions? Let's begin with the round of what everyone wants to do. Ozzius, what do you want to do today?
Time to go to the library.
Ozzius, library, so studying. Alona, I already know you're going to be practicing the spell. And Poppy, what are you doing with what are you going to do?
I'm also going to go to the library and see if there's any spells that I can teach my familiar specifically.
So you want to look for familiar only spells?
Yeah, if those exist.
Okay. It does exist. The air.
I have 2 things that I want to do. And of course, the mimics are doing what they do. First thing, I want to find the Erica and ask them where's this weave thing or like gateway to other realms.
Yeah.
That little window of opportunity.
Yes, that's one.
And afterwards, I'm going to be training my combat ability some more.
Okay.
In this instance, though, do you think I can still train Constitution for one more point, or should I just go for Dexterity?
If you want to train con, you can train con if you want to. You're a bit bruised, so there is a less likely chance to succeed because you've already pushed yourself to the limit. You can push yourself further to the limit, but the way to get the chance of gains has gone down a bit. That's all. Because if you keep training the same muscle over and over, you will, get diminishing returns over time. So if you, let's say, now go for Dex, you're more likely to succeed in to get a Dex up than a Con up, for example.
All right.
Does that make sense? You can keep training
Yes.
it, but you will be less likely to succeed. To get, no, you're likely to succeed, but you're less likely to get gains out of it. That's what I mean.
Yeah, no, I get it. So, I would like to role play at the very least the first part.
Yeah, I would understand that. But I'm not done with the round yet. Round, what are you doing? Because you have a book, and what are you doing with your stuff? So you have something interesting going on, so I want to know what you're doing. That's why I kept you for last.
I think I'm definitely going back into the library, that's for sure.
So 3 people are going into the library. Alona's going to be by themselves, and Leah wants to ask Erica and then train. Okay. The book party will be done together, so we'll do that last. For now, let's start with Leah's thing because it's the easiest one to do, and Alona will just be training with. We'll be training outside, so that she's second. So Leah, you're up first. Nobody else needs Erica.
Kind of crack my fingers. All right. So, Erica, how many gods of war do you know?
See Erica look up. How many do I know? There are plenty. Personally, I may have met one. Might have been a while.
If I were to make a choice, let's do this. Pick 1 or 2.
Erica looks at you curiously. What do you mean, pick 1 or 2? This place has been conjured up for your training. Why do you give me a choice?
Oh, it's a simple little choice of chance. 1 or 2.
Besides, I'm not really in the mood for games or chance. But I will amuse you nonetheless. I pick 2.
All right. Are we in front of the little window of
No,
into the astral?
you're in
No?
you're in the living room.
So, I've heard about a little spot where you could connect to other places. Do you mind showing me where it is?
Do know that anything that comes out of that is going to be on your risk.
Of course.
He quirks her eyebrow one more time. Fine.
I'm not going to cause any trouble that would put us in danger.
You should be happy this place does not allow it, even in the worst situations. All divine power is cut off here for a reason. And she stands up and walks past her, past you, and looks at you. It is also why our new guest also does not have any power. Remember that.
Of course.
And she walks down the stairs towards the golden door. You don't know what the silver door is yet, but hey. And opens it. And you find yourself in this golden tiled room that goes on endlessly. With the golden sky that you've seen everywhere. And those glowing roots from different colors or veins. Roots, veins, they look both and not at the same time, all going through into the ground and going up into the sky. A place of infinite possibilities, but also a place of infinite consequence.
Such is life. And especially life on the astral sea. I've been there for quite a while, actually. Let's see. Cracks fingers. And I cast sending
Yeah, okay.
into the void.
Just randomly
No.
towards what? Towards who? Who you're sending to?
Bahamut.
Bahamut! Okay, so you're trying to reach Bahamut in his domain, right?
Of course.
Okay. So you tried to envision and send Bahamut descending. What are you trying to send towards him?
I have a proposal, an inquiry, and an interesting bit of information that you would be tickled about. This is the rock star that made the concert a few years back in your realm.
I wouldn't know that. Okay. Oh. Okay, I rolled for interference. Good. For you. So, I need you to roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
Yes. No disadvantage.
Need to go back and roll 20.
Yep.
Is it-
I'm more surprised you didn't load it. I'm surprised you didn't load that in yet.
I was a bit preoccupied
Stress.
with. Yes, that too. Count of 3. Launch game. A few seconds.
Yeah, it takes a moment. There
it's
you
a
are.
slash, right?
Yes.
+7. Ooh, hachamale. Ooh. Oh, come on! At least give me some providence.
So, I'm gonna do one roll. This might save you though, but this is just for me.
Oh dear.
Out of all the things, come on.
You don't get a response, but Erica looks at the veins and then looks at you. The winds blew differently. Who did you try to contact?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say something?
Yes. Erica responds with a slight noise. Who did you try to contact?
Why? There's
Because
something that happened.
whoever you tried to contact resides in the elemental plane of winds, my home realm.
The fuck are they doing there?
They reside there apparently. So I'm asking, who did you try to contact?
Kind of goes like a stare. Just looks forward. Bahamut. I've done a concert for a few of his rings at some point while I was passing in
I see.
the space, but
Th-
it was a while ago.
That is all. I see. So you're trying to reach him of all places. No wonder the winds blew differently. It blows from the north now. And normally I have it blowing from the east.
Oh, does that mean he actually received my message?
He may have. But you may have been vague about it.
Ugh. Do I have to cast it again, you think?
You might. But you might need something else.
Cared.
Okay, I'll allow this once. It is nearly impossible to anger the Lord of Dragons. But there might be a way for you to reach them.
Anger? What are you talking about? Trying to piss him off.
As I said. So, she takes off one of her earrings and hands it to you. Wear this and try again.
All right. I will put the earring. I don't have holes in my ears, so I'm just gonna make one.
Like,
I can do whatever freak I want.
yeah,
My body, my rules.
well, you can make one. You're a changeling.
Exactly.
You don't even have to puncture your thing. Okay. So when you wear the earring, something within you shifts for a moment. Your powers run differently. It's like it's being like you're giving up some sort of strength to gain another. I would like you to roll. You may do another sending, and we'll see what happens.
Another persuasion.
First, send your sending with the text. What you're trying to say. Maybe be more direct. Maybe you...
Bahamut, this is Lier. I have information concerning about a possible doppelganger of your sister of good nature. And I'm gonna need some help.
Okay. Well, that's where it gets cut off, though, because word limit, but that's the more direct thing you're saying, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you and boy, they said that Erica pretty much points to one vein. Focus on that one. You see a windy vein, so you won't have interference roll. Roll persuasion, but I will not tell your bonus. I'll roll with your normal bonus because it might have changed.
Whoop, wrong one. Why is it? I hate rolls on machine.
Yeah, don't worry. I had the same thing. And then
Just
suddenly,
a second. I need to try something. Don't mind me.
you may try a fake roll if you want, but it won't count.
Yeah, it's.
Okay.
Oh, great. Oh, yeah, sure. Sure. Freak. Oh, yeah, sure.
That-
Funny number. Aha.
Okay. That's the two dice trolling you.
Yeah. Can I use my actual dice instead of this?
I can't see your dice, so that's no. I can't see your dice.
Oh, wait a minute. I got camera. Yeah.
Okay. Do you point your camera at the thing and then you want to roll?
Oh, wait, you're allowing me to roll again?
Yes, but I will allow this roll, but you will take a penalty for it. You will not know what the penalty is. Are you okay with this? You don't know if the result was success either.
Honestly, it's still better than anything's better than a 3.
Fine. Point to
Right,
cam
though,
so I
aren't I?
can... Yeah, I need to see it land.
That is an
8.
8. 8 plus
Okay.
7, that's 15, I think.
Mhm.
Better.
I would say no, you rolled higher than a 15 for sure. Okay. There is no response. Nothing. At least not yet. But the northern wind blows louder. And then before you know it, a platinum arrow flies through the vein and lands at your feet with a scroll attached to it.
Wow, this is more forward. Usually they just keep quiet. Just gonna pick it up. What kind of arrow is it?
It's made of pure platinum.
Looks at Erica. Now this is personal. I'm just gonna bag the arrow, if I even can, and just read the message.
No, you cannot pick the arrow. You're too weak to pick it up at the moment.
Oh, fuck. Okay. I'm just gonna read the note instead.
Mm-hmm. So you roll it open, and it pretty much says, it pretty much written in common. I have received your sending. I have only heard rumors of this. Please, attach a memory to this arrow and throw it back into the plane of winds, and it will find its way.
Hey, Erica,
Mm-hmm.
mind
Yes.
helping me pick up this arrow and
Take off the earring.
just takes off the earring.
You feel like your normal self again. She holds out her hands,
Just puts it back.
and she wears it again.
Just tries again to pick up the arrow.
It's a bit heavy, but you slowly pull it out and hold it. It's like, ooh, a bit on the heavy side, but at least I can pick it up.
Did your earring just give me some air attributes like weak wrists and like body?
It simply rebalanced your body to finish the task at hand. Thus, a cost was made.
Well, all right.
They say
that why
the
you-
prettiest
is that
and
why
most
you can't
convincing people are not the most strongest.
Hmm. I'll take your word for it. In any case, now I gotta write a note.
What did it say exactly?
Well, he got the message and he wants to know more.
I wouldn't think an arrow like that, with magical infusion, would just have a note attached to it. There's more to it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to send him another note and throw the arrow back.
Can I see the note real quick?
No, I have I literally grow I have the cat face like.
Okay. Then I, as a DM, will warn you. What did the note say exactly?
That he had heard rumors of that there is a doppelganger of his sibling,
Yes.
and that he would like to know more, and that I should throw back the arrow with the note attached.
I didn't. No, you didn't hear the part. The last. You didn't hear that part correctly. I think.
What did I?
I'll
was it
reword
again?
it. I'll say the words again. Attach a memory.
Oh, hey Erica,
There.
how do I how can I make a memory physical and sendable?
Simply think of the memory you want to attach and stab yourself in the head with the arrow. It will not hurt you.
All right. I'm basically recounting all the detail of and the good nature, of course,
Mm-hmm.
that I can about the events and what I know.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I can attach a little message to it. Ooh, I'll attach additional memory. I basically talk to myself in saying that it would be a quite beneficial to. What's another word for absorb? Indoctrinate? No.
Infuse, imbue,
Uh, to obtain, basically.
acquire.
Same.
Acquired
Yeah.
this world to protect, and I'm gonna need a stronger body to actually get some things done in exchange for these information,
Uh-huh.
and the ability for me to grow stronger physically.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Okay. But that's what you're gonna try and attach to it. Remember, you're
Yes.
trying to send a memory, not a thought.
No, it's the memory of me speaking, along with everything else concerning the mother.
Okay. So you focus on it. Do you stab yourself in the head with the arrow?
Yes.
You feel it's quite stinging your head, but it doesn't hurt. And you feel like it worked. Do you pull the arrow out?
Roll it like spaghetti and pull out.
Slowly pull it out, and the arrow tip glows a silvery light.
Erica, do you have catapult as a spell?
No, I do not.
Dang. Well, you think I can make the throw? Or will it just go there on its own?
Why do you not follow the vein to a place where it's lower? It is my home realm, so naturally it is like the aorta of this realm.
Wait, so where do I throw it?
No, you just have to follow the vein of wind. It is the aorta. You know what the aorta is, right?
The order?
Aorta.
Aorta. My memory's fuzzy. Excuse me.
It's
The
literally-
first and largest artery in the body.
It pumps the most blood through your body.
Yeah?
So if you follow the vein, you might find a spot where you can just put it in. That's what Erica's saying.
Okay, so I just need to find the biggest part.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So let me roll perception. You can track it down for a spot that you don't have to throw where you see it right now.
You know, where the heck is my... I am not trusting the thingy.
Yeah.
If that's okay with you.
Yeah. As long as we can see, you don't funnel the dice.
5. That is also an 8.
Oh, you're rolling straight eights.
It's better than 1s and 3s. I'll
And what is
take
your bonus for perception?
2, I think. Let me
So
double
10.
check. Yes.
It takes you a moment to follow the wind vine back, going down towards a lower level. You follow it. You lose a little bit of track of it, but you're able to follow it easily because it is the biggest vine of this realm. Thank you for damning me. What a surprise.
Alley-oop.
You find out where it's lower, so you just... So yeah, it's very easily reachable. So, do you put it in?
Yep.
You put the arrow in, and it disappears and flies off. I'm gonna do some rolls. Okay.
Hopefully, I'll be able to get a somewhat draconic body for additional strength. Scales is not my strong suit, but you know, who knows?
And let's open that.
Looks at Erica.
You know what the problem is if you roll multiple dice? if they're bipolar. Whip, 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 whip.
How split is it?
Very split. High roll, low roll, crit, fail.
That's a good spread.
Let me think.
So average.
Yeah, that's the thing. An average is the thing. Let me look up something real quick. Okay. Looking up some things. Okay.
I got some very good.
Okay. I'll do one more roll. Why average? It's like,
I play it safe usually, I think.
okay, I know enough. So, some time passes. Maybe 5 minutes of silence. You wait, and then the winds blow strongly. And before you know it, something rolls against your foot. The air. You look at it. It is a platinum-looking egg the size of your foot.
Please tell me that's not Bahamut.
You don't know that.
I'm just going to try and pick up the egg.
Well, you can pick it up. It's very light.
What do you make of this? Is it the size of a chicken head or an ostrich egg?
It's the size of your foot.
So
Bigger than a chicken egg at the very least.
okay, so babe, more like
About
an
an-
emu egg.
About an ostrich egg, I think, is the correct
Yeah.
size.
Ostrich egg is this big. Emu egg is smaller.
Yeah, more an emu egg. Yeah. Okay. I believe that is the answer you've got for now.
Man, I hope it's not a familiar either.
We will see.
Well, thank you very much, Erica, for your time. Hope this was as interesting to you as it was for me. Now to go
Indeed.
training.
The winds start blowing east once again in the realm. Yeah. Yes. By the way, remember that penalty? You have no advantages for the rest of your rolls for the rest of the day. So all your pluses, 0.
Also, no more modifiers.
No more modifiers, that's what I mean, yeah. That's your penalty.
Holy moly.
Because
That's
you
a
want that
penalty.
reroll because you want that reroll that badly. Because you didn't know if you succeeded or failed it. You wanted that reroll so bad. So it's like, I'm going to put a big penalty on it and I'm warning you. And now you understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's not like I have big
Mhm.
modifiers for training stuff. Oh, all right. Well, still gonna try and train my dexterous speed.
Well, that's for the second
I'm sorry.
training. That's for later.
Yeah.
Ilona, you're up. So, you and Fav
Great name.
head outside. And Mr. Fogg walks up to the fountain. Because you said you get your blood there. I'm gonna say, yes, I got blood components for my hemomancy from here. It's like, okay. Ah, the form of a wishing well. Interesting. Or wishing fountain in this case. Alright. He puts his hand into the water and pulls out a golden feather. A cheap imitation, but it will do.
It can give us any object, not just any fluid.
If you know how, yes. But as I said, just a cheap imitation. There are limits to what it can do. A full-on phoenix feather is clearly beyond its true scope. But for this purpose, it is good enough. He hands you the feather.
I take it.
The first thing you have to learn is to bring back someone from the brink using nothing but your own flames. Their subject would be nice, but considering this realm doesn't have any form of true death, you can't bring anyone to the true brink of death, which would mean it's an exercise of futility. So instead, we will skip that part and go instantly into both versions. He looks at that, and the golem comes up. It is the shape of a small humanoid. He points at it. So, this spell is based on two combination of spells: destruction and creation. And flames, in a sense, have the ability to do both. Once everything is burned to ash, from ash, new life will spring. That is
the
the
phoenix feather.
And the phoenix feather would be the component for it in this case. So, he walks over to the golem and punches its head in, shattering into pieces, and it falls down.
Okay.
Brittle, but it will do. This will do fine. It is on the brink. I want you to focus all your hatreds into the feather, darkening it with the pure essence of hatred. Yep. And then light on fire and toss it at the target. Only think of the pain you want to inflict on it. Do not think of ending its life. Do not think about letting it escape. Purely think of the eternal pain you wish to cause it.
I focus on the feather and think of my childhood with my father, how much I hate him. He took everything from me. We now has Nelia. And I cast fire.
What kind of fire do you cast? Because you say you cast fire, but how do you cast this fire?
Fireball too much?
Well, do you ignite the... Well, first up, why don't you roll an Arcana check for me? Before you even continue on. You're not going to cast fire. You're just going to roll an Arcana. You're not really sure what you're doing, but the feather does darken. Do you ignite the feather with any kind of type of spell?
With firebolt.
Mm-hmm. The feather is lit, and it burns a golden flame. Do you throw it?
Yeah.
You throw it at the golem, it gets back up. Leafried shakes his head. He did cast it, without any cost. But it appears somewhere along the lines, if you didn't think of pure vengeance, you thought of someone else. You didn't think about your target. Thus, the flames only brought back the target instead of also inflicting damage. You weren't able to keep the cycle of hate going.
I shouldn't think of my aunt.
Flames burn in many fuels. If you add a different type of wood, that wood would burn differently. This aunt of yours is dear to you. Did you think about what could have happened to them? How did you visualize it in your thinking of hatred?
Well, I brought back memories. Now, I don't know what he did with her. Just visioned her.
That was the problem. You thought of happier times. You thought about subconsciously saving her, which failed the spell. You don't know her fate. You wish to save her by punishing him. That balance does not coincide with hate. Well, love and hate are two different things, but two coins with the same side. Love to save is something a phoenix feather would respond to stronger than destruction. Thus, she simply brought back your targets.
If I think of hate, it gives destruction. If I think of love, it just brings creation.
Indeed, for the phoenix, simple as that. Don't think your flames can be creation itself. That is only for the divine. But if the component would be a phoenix feather, yes, it would. You would be able to use your flames to bring back those who have perished, maybe even longer than who knows. There's a limit to even the phoenix's flames. But it's very useful to bring back minions or allies. Simply wanting them back is enough for a phoenix feather to do its job. Be it of use or caring. He puts his hand in the fountain and hands another one. I do not think you have the capability of fully understanding this spell. But perhaps there's something else. I need to roll something real quick. Does he think about it? Okay. This guy just has the best luck in the world. He looks at you. A sense of destruction and curiosity. Fun of the destructive planes. Yet caring about others. Curiosity of power. Punishing. This spell's not the thing you need. He grabs the feather and just eats it. And swallows it. No. This spell's not what you truly need. Your vengeance isn't just for pain and suffering. Your vengeance is justice. Am I correct?
True. Yes. What spell do I need?
He closes his eyes. A spell for you to burn that eternally, to inflict the pain to inflict the same pain that is caused to you. That is a different thinking altogether. I wonder. You can see him thinking. It would be easy if I could show you, but I do not have the power to do so. Simply practice what you normally practice. I need to contemplate a few things. I'm sorry your training session's over because he needs to think.
Makes sense.
So yeah, Lona. No, right. Because now you're just because what you want to do is justice, and he understands this is a lawful evil character, but he's also evil, so justice is not really the best thing in mind. So he needs to think for a moment. The other three, library time. You three have breakfast in the morning, and then all head to the library. Do you go together?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, Ozius, Raz, and Poppy all go to the library and head inside. And then inside, they find themselves in front of the pedestal of information, I would now call it.
Well, ladies first.
Okay. Walk up to the book and asked for any spells a familiar can use on its own. If they exist.
It asks you one thing. It actually gives you that question. And Raz, the way she's asking this, it will ask the question, but I want Raz to roll insight right after I ask it. Do you truly pursue this? Insight, Raz. Raz?
Yes.
The fact that she says familiar casting magic on its own, and the book asking, "Are you sure you want to pursue that?" You connect the dots that the information she might find might become horrifying for her.
Oh no.
That's weird. Is it supposed to ask a question after?
Ozius, do you have a response? No. Does Raz, do you say anything, or do you remain quiet?
I have a feeling it's essentially trying to ward you away from information you might not wish to look at.
Okay.
Drama.
Well, I want to know anyway.
Three books show up. One is a book about the magics you can learn that familiars can learn from their masters, and the second book is familial power increases, how a familiar could cast more power, and the third, Raz. It is the title sends a shiver down your spine. Familial fusion, to increase a familiar's power beyond its capabilities.
Ah, it's not as bad as I thought.
Wow.
Well, I know the first one already, so I'm just gonna make a note of the other two. And she scribbles down the books to look at after one after another.
I give a sort of reluctant look at the pedestal and my own plans.
If a book would shrug, it would shrug.
Poppy, do you want a hand looking through the books?
Oh no, I think I can find it. Thanks.
Ooh.
Can I see the list from where she is at the moment?
Oh no, it's already vanished the moment the Poppy looked away.
I'm guessing that means I didn't get a look at what the number of the last book was.
Okay. You wanted to see where the last book was?
Yeah.
If only you could ask it yourself.
He has a point. Do you ask yourself, or are you going to try and recall it so you can be sneaky? You don't have keen mind, I know that.
That's fine.
Alright. Disadvantage history check.
Oh god.
Because it's short term. You want to look at something, you have to look at a distance and try and remember the number correctly. It is difficult.
Kotlol, I do
Yes?
have keen mind.
Oh, you have keen mind.
I do have keen mind. Do you know why I know that? So I paid for it, damn it.
Okay, keen mind. So you keen mind it. You try to recall it, where the third book is, and the third book is indeed further away from the second book. It is at least down aisle 752.
Hey.
But Poppy will be at least going to aisle 327.
I want to get to the location of the third book before she does.
Well, then I guess it depends on if Poppy wants to go. Well, you know how the library works, so you're gonna get there before she does, regardless. There's no rolling for that,
Yeah.
because she's going to the second book first. Correct? Z?
Yep.
Yeah. So she's going to the second book first, so that means she will be led to that pathway right away, and you'll be led to the other pathway right away. So you'll be arriving at the same time at the same book aisle. Okay. Osseous!
Well, since they're both gone,
Yeah, they're already leaving.
how to clone people?
Oh god, that is a lot of pages.
The easy way.
That's
Without
still a lot
being
of...
a god.
Huh? Without
Without
divine...
being a deity.
Without being a deity. 15 pages.
For turtles?
For turtles! It takes a
The
moment.
natural way.
Free books.
Wait, what?
Oh, well, that's more than I thought.
Ow! And clerics on a budget.
For clerics on a budget. It doesn't... No, it doesn't change. It just gives us 3 books. But under it appears text.
Okay, let's see. What are
It doesn't
the...
appear any text. No, it just has 3 books. So the first book... So the first book is Phylacteries and such. How to clone thyself in advance. Of course, phylactery. What a surprise. The Lich Way is on it.
Yeah.
Liches. The easy way.
Yes.
Recent such. So, the second book. Spirituality for the spiritual strong. How to enhance thyself in many ways. You think that's odd, but considering you went for cloning and turtles, you're like, then there is probably a way to multiply yourself in a spiritual way. And the third book.
Army and a half shell.
Uh,
Turtle power.
and the third book. Is a book about magical brews. Magical brews for the draconic kind. Which seems off for you in a moment. But you remember a spell. You remember the earlier talk with Erica about turtles being possibly tied to some sort of dragons or spiritual things. So you're like, is this book trying to say the same thing here? Either way, it could yield things.
Yeah. I'll note it down. And... You know what? Let's try again. Duplicating people temporarily as a low to mid-level cleric.
Mm-hmm. And one more book shows up for you, but this one's a bit more specific.
There's being specific, and then there's being ridiculous.
And that is this is the Divine Acolyte guide.
Ah, perfect. Well, let's see where it is.
The Divine Acolyte guide is at least past aisle 800. The Book of Phylacteries, that's like aisle 20.
No. I'll take the last book.
That's the last book? Okay. You head down your road and you get led to your aisle. So for now, since we're going from lowest to highest, Poppy's first. Poppy! I need to roll a quick investigation check to find the book.
Investigation. Oh, here it is. Oh, Jesus!
You try to locate the book, but it is difficult for you. There's a lot of magical books. All of these have to do with increasing power, increasing magical prowess, increasing more power, and wait, that book also says familiar. Is that it? Try to look closely at it, and you pull it out and read it. How to? Okay, not how to. Familiar bonds and how to increase them. Not what I'm looking for, but could be interesting. Do you wish to peek in it?
May as well. I mean, I'm here anyway.
You read that familiars are either summoned or created via the thoughts of someone magical. There are many ways to gain familiars, some via divine power, others simply from creation, others via spiritual, the nature spirits. And you read and you see increase your bond, that your familiar gets stronger as you get stronger, that the familiar can also cast the same magic as you can. It's basically its first guide. And also, if the familiar develops its own personality and soul, so to speak, the more powerful it become, and may eventually even be able to move freely outside of the bond on the familiar summoned person can do, being a more creature of the material realm at that point. This is both a risk, but also a blessing, depending on what kind of creature is being summoned. What the familiar is. For example, if it's an imp, he's going to cause problems. But if it's a nature spirit, it will guide nature better out of its own free will.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's not the book you're looking for, but you get more basic understanding of familiars.
Yeah. So I spend a little bit just reading through a few pages to see if there's anything useful.
Can you roll me quick Arcana for me?
Oh god. Where's my stuff? Oh, that one's better. Well, that's better.
17. As you read through it and you read through it, you learn that familiars indeed can also improve on their own as long as they're in the material plane. They absorb information magically and everything, and they can develop into their own being over time, and you understand it on a magical level that indeed a familiar technically can develop a soul, so to speak. But it would be but then you read the last part and you read this development would be faster if they would be put inside a body and tied to the material plane.
Oh,
You find it odd, but nothing really, but that's it. That's just a bit odd, but you think like, you would know how to do that though.
that's gonna be tricky. Looks at the
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah.
I mean, this is good with you, right?
It just tilts its head, considering it might be still in its first phases of existence.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that one. Puts the book back and goes back to look for the other book that she was actually looking for.
You may roll me one more investigation. You may
Yeah, I
roll
hope
just
this- It's better.
You look around and you finally found the empowering book for familiars.
Finally, get over here.
You open it up and you start reading it, and you read various methods of doing things, but all of them have to do with putting some sort of magical material into the creature or add it to the creature to improve its powers and able to move on its own. Well, it can only move on its own, but you know what I mean, like make it its own spell powers and that kind of thing. So there are ways, but it all has to do with increasing the binding of it to the material plane via a magical artifact or some runestone or something in that manner.
Hey, wait a minute. Puts the book down real quick and reaches into her bag, then pulls out the red orb. That will work. But then if I put it in the familiar, I probably couldn't use it later.
You don't even understand arcana level how to do that yet. You just read through, you just skim through that. So you might have to. Well, you get this idea. You do have to think like, I do need to study how to do that magically.
Yeah, so she's just thinking if she would, should she do it with that? So she's like, nah, I'm just gonna find something else. Puts the orb back and goes back to reading.
Okay. How do you want to study the empowering thing? Like, do you want to understand on a more magical level? Do you want to understand the logic behind it, or do you want to just learn it in general, like what kind of objects you want to use? Or do you want to understand the culture behind improving the... Because there's a little culture behind it. You might find some rituals or other things.
I'm definitely more interested in culture, but the question is that useful? Logical would be better, but you know what? Let's go cultural.
Religion check. It's religion. That's religion.
Okay, that's like one of my worst stats. Okay, whatever. Here we go.
Maybe the dice are nice. 12. You start thinking, there might be cultures here how to do it, and ironically, you do see some ways. You see, you read about, you decide to look for things, and you do read some things, but it's all a bit vague. And then you read about an example, and it's like, wait, this is interesting. It's about a... Read it once again. Wait. Once the winds blew from the east, as the witch doctor and his tribe did their rituals. They summoned a being to help with the crops. Rain was more rain needed. The winds blew further east. The winds increase as they call forth for more power, for their being to become stronger. A woman appears and gives them the answer. Simply all surround the creature and do not wish for rain. Wish for the creature to move rivers for you. Then the answer will come. The woman vanishes, and everyone and the witch doctor all pray to the creature to move water, to move rivers, maybe even the oceans themselves, to end this dry streak, to save their crops. At that point, the creature shed one tear, and dark clouds started to form, and rain started to fall. While this seems odd to you, you do understand this witch doctor made a familiar, and this mysterious woman might have been Erica giving advice to the witch doctor. It might have been that the witch doctor might have had a deal with Erica, able to summon familiar, and she just told him how to increase the familiar's power. Why the familiar should appear, you're not really sure, but it might have to do that the familiar's power increased by developing a soul and was then able to summon a rain. Or maybe Erica did something. You're not 100% sure.
Okay, that didn't really help a lot, but I guess it kind of makes a little sense.
Yeah.
Do I have time to look through it one more time, or
You can do one more time if you really want to. But that is the last
yeah.
thing you'll be able to do.
For this book, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's go for the logical one then. So hopefully I can then determine for myself how it works.
Okay. So how do you proceed? How do you want to learn it? How do you want to understand it?
Logical. I just said that.
Logical. Okay, that is an investigation check.
I figured as much. I'm better at that one, thankfully, and.
As you read through it and you try to understand this book, you keep looking, keep looking. Callers, gems, magical beings, and everything. And then you read a spell, and then you look for a spell, you find a spell of some sort. A magical binding. Can be you, but this is more. This way the spell described is a bit too. How would I say? It's not focused. It just tells you there's a spell. This is a magical binding spell that can bind any type of creature to the material plane, be it something from another realm, from another plane of existence, and forcibly bound to the material plane to get it stuck. And you're like, well, that's not it, but there's something here about it. So you start looking logically. What if I can do a magical binding and a magical item to bind my familiar to that so they can access the power of the magical item and they'll be bound to the material plane at the same time? I would basically make that. That's how I should do that? You might want to ask someone with more magical knowledge to get you to understand this combination a bit better, but you think this is the lead that you want.
Yeah. Just make a few notes to ask someone else later.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, I know I know where this is going, and the puppy doesn't know that. God.
Okay.
Okay.
Raz, you're next. Meanwhile, Raz, You arrive at this section of books, and you're like, a familial fusion. Puppy should not get their hands on that because that might get her to learn things she doesn't want to learn. I don't want to shock the little girl. And you vigorously start searching. You have an idea what you're looking for. You might do an investigation check with advantage this time because you know what to avoid by your visits.
Okay. Where's that damn book? Where's that damn book?
You're like, okay, where's the damn book? Where's the damn book? That, no, that's not the way. That, no, that's warmer. That looks archmage. That looks it. There it is. You grab it from the top aisle. You pull it out. Familial fusions. Found it. And then you look at it. All right. Familial fusion. I got it. But now that I got it, what do I do with it? So what do you do with it?
You know, as a person who's slightly short of stature, I feel bad saying this. Is there somewhere I can put the book that would be out of Poppy's reach?
Don't you have a bag of holding or something?
It'll just pop back on the shelf.
The
Yeah, if he
moment-
destroys it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to replenish if it's taken for a while.
Or if it's removed from the realm, you don't know that.
I mean, you could put it in a different bookcase a bit further on.
No guarantee that the book, the place
Or-
where Reese put the book back.
Hmm.
So,
Or maybe you can ask the library real nicely to hide this one.
Oh! If only the library didn't hate you.
the library and I have an understanding at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
It knows I understand not to fuck with it again.
Yeah. So what do you do?
You know what, given that I know this library is sentient, given that I know it's also definitely got a mind of its own, I am going to ask the library. In fact, no, I'm going to beg the library at this point. If that little girl reads through this book, she is going to be scarred and traumatized. I'm asking you, please, to let me put this in my bag of holding and remove it from the library until the end of our stay so that she doesn't read it, at which point I will bring it right back. You have my word.
Persuasion.
Oh. No.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know what I said for fails.
No, I don't.
Mm-hmm. A book drops in front of you. Do you check what it is?
I'm presuming this is how the library communicates, so yes, I will pick up the book.
Tempting and altering fate and their costs.
Ooh.
What do you do?
Alright.
Spicy. What do you do? Come on.
Okay, the library will lead you to a book if you're looking for a book.
Mhm.
Okay, presumably it will lead you to the exit if you're looking for the exit.
Mhm.
What if I'm not looking for anywhere at all?
Oh, you're gonna ignore the book? You're not
No,
gonna. You
I
picked it up,
picked up the book.
but you're not gonna read it.
I'll put my thinking on hold for a minute. I'll open the book.
You open the book. You start leafing through it. It comes more and more clear that you start reading. More and more it becomes clear. The bigger something wants to change fate in some way, even if it's fully intended by some other forces, that the cost increases and just more and more. And you think to yourself for a moment, is the library asking me for a cost? You may roll insight on that.
Twenty.
20. You look at this book, and you look down the aisle. And then you understand she's gonna find out one way or another, and this is just one of those ways. But if you're gonna remove it, it's gonna have a cost. And the library is not asking you directly for a cost that you have to pay to it. It's asking you if you're willing to pay a cost to avoid this fate.
Yes.
Okay. Before you know it, all the bookshelves sink into the ground, leaving only the marble floor below you and an endless void surrounding you, the floors. Then before you then before you appears a white figure slowly approaching you, taking shape. And this being looks humanoid at first, until you notice the head. The head is that of a white fox. The figure, you can't really tell if it's male or female because there's a giant rope draping it, and it walks towards you. You may roll insight to understand what this being is.
Ah, you meant it now. I was hoping for an IOU.
Nat
Oh.
20. Considering the library just vanished before you and this creature appeared before you, you understand that what's approaching you is the library itself in a humanoid form.
Of course, it's a fucking fox.
It wasn't going to be an owl.
Ah, hello.
It responds in a voice. So, you wish to pay the price of altering fate.
Sure.
It nods and holds out his hand. The book.
I'm gonna hand over. I'll hand over the familiar fusion book.
It nods and holds out his other hand. And what would your cost be? What are you paying with? Got anything you want to pay, or do you have any idea, or are you gonna ask what do you want, what do you need, or something like that? You can always ask.
The problem is, most of what I've got on me, I want.
Well,
Sorry. What payment are you looking for?
sorry, what did you ask exactly? Because you were kind of muffled.
Sorry, I'm asking what payment are you looking for?
To divide the winds of fate, a big cost has to come with it. The cost has to be equal in measure of changing fate, similar to how I am currently changing fate, and that cost will now be on you. I am also tied to the whims of fate. Thus, you must pay a cost. Do you wish to endure a fate itself? A fate not meant for you, but still the cost of another fate put upon you? Or do you pay in materials? Do you pay in power? Do you pay in experience? Do you pay in memories? Or do you even give up your entire identity to alter fates?
You mean give up all? Could I give up my identity? You mean that nobody would know me?
Hmm. That is a large price to pay, but no. You would simply lose your name and identity. They will still know you for your actions, but they won't know your past. That is taken away. You will have no name. You will be given a name by me, and everyone will only recognize you by that name. Your memories will remain intact, as that is the burden you have to hold.
You're talking to some as if the name I used was mine in the first place. Done.
You're sure that's the price you want to pay?
I was a thief first and a maid second. Done.
All right. So you grab the hand, and at that point, you sense it. Everything, the past, your birthright, anything before it, all gone, forgotten, removed from history. Your name, your identity itself, completely gone, taken away from you. Instead, you've given a new identity. You're now the thief of knowledge, and you are now named. I need to roll name.
I was gone for a slight second. Did you make a pact with a fae or something?
The thing is not a fae, it is a being of fate that holds the knowledge of a genie that gives it on a constant basis. How you're gonna pay with fate is what it does. If it has to contact a fae and make a fae payment to change fate, it will do that right now.
Wow.
It is also next to the heart of realms. You know, where you were trying to contact Bahamut. So naturally, the library can contact things as well. How else is it going
Wow.
to confirm certain knowledge? And be in contact with Erica the whole time. It's sentient. So... I swear, if I roll Steve, I'm gonna laugh.
Roll an average roll. Do it, coward.
I'm just making the random name generator.
Oh, even better.
Whatever, thank you. All the categories masculine. Okay. First name and last name. Oh no, first name only. Or random. Okay. Create a name. You're now named Lucas Nicholas. I wish I was joking.
What? Okay.
Lucas Nicholas? That sounds like a spell.
Well, I actually did this, but I decided to not be fancy with it. Just went Lucas Nicholas.
Lucas Nicholas. Lucas Nicholas. Enjoy your new name, nerd.
You mean my new real name?
Yeah.
Fair
And
enough.
who says I told any of you what my real name was in the first place?
Yeah. So, by the way, to everyone, you don't know him as Raz anymore. He's Lucas to you right now.
Hey, Anakin.
Luke.
The price has been paid. Your past is no more. You're someone else to everyone. Your current actions remain as they have influenced every current fate. But everything you have gained from your past is gone. The memories and knowledge still remain, and so will experiences, but they have no meaning to anyone. The book vanishes. The girl will not read the book. And the knowledge she may still find, but not here. And the moment you blink, you're back in the owl, Lucas.
Well, we're gonna build that alias from scratch again. There we go. I'm gonna leave the library to get something to eat. Changing my whole
Arceus
life is
going
library work.
past them?
No, because the library will instantly get you to your aisle, remember?
Damn it. Oh well.
Okay, and then leaves the library. Okay, Ozzy, it's your turn.
You know, well, I guess I'll just take the book and go somewhere to read it.
Investigation. If you have to find the book.
Fine. Huh,
19.
natural 19.
You look around. There's some nice books here. It's all like arcane, wizardly, arcane. No, that is it. I think that's more warlock stuff. Warlock of a genie stuff. Ah, there's some religious stuff, paladins. Why is the strange how this is only how this only did with the years. Ah, here it is. Divine Acolyte Guide. Found it. Not very dusty. Good condition. Yeah, it looks good. Do you want to go somewhere to sit?
Yeah, I'll just leave the library and find a place to sit.
So you go then you're in the gallery to sit down on the benches. or in the living room, whatever you want. But Erica's there, most
Sure.
likely. Okay. You sit down. You look at the book. You open the first page, and you start looking through it, and you read. It's like so it's about being one of the gods, divine. So it has a bit of warlock, a bit of paladin. It has a bit of clerical thinking, even a bit of monk, even a bit of fighter for some reason. Probably because fighters can also have gods, I guess, with powers. You're like, okay, let's go for the cleric stuff. You're looking for cloning specifically, right?
Cloning or duplicating?
Cloning or duplication. Well, with duplication, you of course learn about the creation spell. You're like, creation spell, yeah, I get that. That's something I can learn indeed. Creating things that already exist, like materials, and then stuff. But that's not what I want. I want living things.
No, I want people. Like,
people, yeah.
Come on.
You're like, come on, no. And you read. And you're like, good, yes, yes. And you're like, not really anything about cloning yet. I want you to roll one religion check, please.
Oh.
Seven. You don't stumble something for cleric specifically, but something does catch your eye. But you're like, oh, okay. I mean, they honor a sun goddess, but something here catches your eye. A priestess of the sun who was able to project multiples of her via the blessing of a sun goddess. You're like, this can be something. But it says project. You're like, could it be light? Could it be themselves? But it says like, they were able to go to anywhere, multiple places, and heal their people under the blessing of the sun goddess. You're like, it's not my goddess, but maybe we can find something in here. I mean, it has healing, so who knows? So you start reading it, and you're like, it's a bit cultish, it's a bit hard. You go through it, and you're like, okay, so she sat to an altar, prayed to her goddess, a golden light enveloped her, and multiples came out of her body walking out, while her main body remained praying at the altar. Is that a spell of some sort? Is there a way for me to just leave one body behind and have multiples of me walking around healing people? Give me an Arcana check. 17. You start thinking, yes, this is a spell she's casting. It's not divine intervention, because otherwise these people would not do it every day. They would not do it. They would not be able to pull it off every day, because that's not how divine intervention works. It would be once in a while. So this person is casting a spell that allows her to make clones of herself to heal people in need. And you're just trying to think, what kind of spell is this? What kind of spell? What is the cost? How does it do it? It leaves the main... So you're thinking... So it's a spell that leaves the main body vulnerable and creates copy bodies to heal others. And you start thinking, magical. Via the blessing of the goddess, it will allow themselves to multiply and get to the one to heal others. And you start thinking, is there a range to it? And it's like, you're like thinking, well, it is a village. You think the range would be at least 150 feet-ish. That this priestess is doing. So the range is 150 feet. doesn't have to cover at least, so that's how the magic flows. The clones go out left, right. You can go anywhere to heal. How long would it take? Does it need preparation? I can't find details on that. This does look like a spell. Maybe I should ask Erica about this, or maybe I should find a place to ask my goddess to teach me. But you do know this is definitely a spell you should be able to cast at your current level. Even though it might leave your main body vulnerable.
Well, it's not necessarily my body.
Yeah?
I could cast it on someone else, right?
You're not sure about that detail yet.
Time to find my god.
Yeah.
Erica!
Okay. You see Erica just... Well, she did return over the air recently, and she's smoking a water pipe and looks up at you. Osius. I felt a change in the wind for a moment.
How
Either
can
way,
I communicate with my god the best?
seems you might also need a visit to the heart.
Ooh.
Can I just comment that right now I could totally see Erica with the maid costumes answering our every wish.
She's a wish-granting genie.
Yeah, only missing the maid costume.
Don't let her hear that. Alright, I will lead you to that. If you give me a moment.
Thank you.
She takes another drag, puts it away. Alright, follow me. Seems everyone has been using it the last couple of days. So she leads you back down the staircase towards the golden door, and well, I've explained it many times by now, so we're going to skip ahead. You find yourself in this weird golden room with just these magical veins going into the floor and up into the sky. This is the place where you're most likely to reach the divine.
Thank you very much. Anyone, any other way you can help me?
Depends. Do you know in which realm your goddess presides?
Oh. Ah. You should know that.
Yeah. Turn the lights. Because it's a bit dark in here.
God of healing, so.
He's a god of healing, so... Let me double check that for you real quick. So, name real quick, because I forgot.
The unchecked. I'll put it in the fucking chat.
Oh, yeah.
Medicine.
We'll do a quick research.
Domain
Don't you just
life.
love godly associations?
That's this part of the life domain. That's weird. That's really hard to find something about it. Oh, they're Irish. They're based off Irish things. He also has silver. He's still so he's based off a great healer.
Any elemental associations?
What? God of medicine, lawful good, life domain. It's an oak and mistletoe.
Sounds
Okay.
fairy-ish to me.
Yeah, it sounds very fairy-ish. It doesn't say where they are exactly. So I'm gonna have to do some finagling with that.
Don't need to be a normie to hang out with the fairies.
They don't have to be a normie, but they have to be in a specific spot in the Feywilds then. Because the Feywilds are also, a collection of places.
Yeah.
I know where you have to go. Simply listen for the vein that giggles. And that sounds very Fey, no?
Right, thank you.
Honestly, I would I would go for the vein that sounds like a never-ending party.
I'm sorry because this is one of those veins that likes to trick people, so listen for some giggling.
Okay.
Perception.
Noted.
Can you perceive
Okay.
the giggling?
Perception. Oh,
16. You look at the veins, and they're all colorful, different. Some kind of look obvious, like, oh, that's blue, it's very liquid, that's a water realm, so that's not it. And you start and keep looking, you see war, you see something that looks like Inferno. No, we're not going near anything infernal.
okay. Not this time.
Not this time. Ice cream. And then you start to listen in, and you hear it. Slight giggles. Slight giggles. And then you see a vein that at first looked like it's on fire, but then it looks pink. And you're like, is it? That was giggling, isn't it? You come closer to it, and it changes color again. Every time you blink, it changes color. It's wild, erratic, and giggles. This must be the vein. You wouldn't have found it by just looking at it.
Okay.
And Eric also follows you and says, like, do not touch it unless you wish to be dragged across the realms. Simply pray to your god in front of it. It would hopefully reach it.
Thank you. I start to pray.
Okay.
Could have just jumped in. Man, I missed.
So you're praying for... What are you praying exactly for?
Well, for them to help me find a way to duplicate people temporarily or permanently.
Okay. Would like you to roll me a D100, a persuasion check, and an intelligence saving throw. Not actually saving, but use that modifier. You roll persuasion twice.
Oh, well, it was the same modifier you said, so
Okay.
right.
You roll. Well, you roll. You pray. You pray with your heart to do this duplication thing. You feel
Oh,
your
wisdom saving throw, you said.
yeah. No, intelligence saving
that's-
throw. Intelligence.
Oh, that's horrible.
You feel your prayer going over God, over, spreading out, contacting your God. You're not sure if it reaches. You don't get a response, but you feel something, a dragging motion, a giggling inside your head.
Hmm.
What do you do?
Imagine if your god was a hippie.
Seems like all lines are busy. That's
Now you only hear
Stay on hold.
you're the giggling inside your head now. What do you do?
yeah. That doesn't sound right.
There's a fairy in your ear. Get it out.
I'll just focus more and continue.
You pray harder. You try to pray the giggles away.
Yeah.
Okay. D100 and a charisma saving throw. Yes, it went to charisma. Because you might be getting charmed.
Charisma.
You pray harder, you pray harder. The giggling gets louder. And then you hear it in your voice. Come on, stick your hands in. You know you want to. And slowly, involuntarily, your hands start moving towards the vein.
Hmm.
You're not touching it yet. You may still try to gain control. Do you resist? Do you let it happen?
My god would stop my arm unless this was what they wanted.
Mm-hmm. So you let it happen?
Act of God.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Ooh.
I have trust in my God.
Okay. And you think for a quick moment?
Mhm.
Because I need to
Didn't
do it.
expect that.
Nice knowing you.
Oh, don't worry. Oh, I have something in mind.
Just imagine your god smacking a fairy out of the way.
That's what I trust him to do.
It's like, hands off.
Your
You
hand
lie.
goes into the vein. Erica doesn't stop you, by the way. She doesn't stop you.
Thanks.
And you feel like you're reaching out to something, someone. Okay. I want you to roll me a wisdom saving throw. I think this is wisdom saving throw.
My rolls are terrible. Oh.
You reach for something, you grab it, and when you are conscious, you pull it out. And you're like, huh, huh, huh. And you open your hand, and in your hand is a little fairy covered in silver. Like silver clothing, silver hair, silver skin. I'm going to look curiously at it. That is unusual. Very unusual. Look curiously at it. Does he know what happened? If I can't just give you the information for free, even Erica has to roll for this one. Because something unusual just happened.
My apologies. Do you know why you're here?
She appears to have been knocked out. Erica just
Oh.
looks at her, so like, it appears this one might have been someone familiar with your gods, but as the Fae go, they tried to do some trickery, but something went wrong for them, which is advantageous for you. In
I'm
fact,
knocked out.
what did you want to ask your god? Perhaps this is one of their cryptic messages.
Oh, a way to duplicate or clone someone. You know, basic stuff.
Quick religion check for yourself. 7. Well, you're not sure that Dion Knecht is known for cloning people. You do know one of the things he usually does when people lose their limbs. They get replaced by silver limbs. And now you're holding a pure silver fairy.
So it might be possible.
While the fairy is knocked out, we don't know why. Tell you why. You did a contest with her. She not won. So
Snack that smiles back.
but at the very least, you have a clue. Maybe this fairy might be able to tell you. It's not your god itself, but gods work in mysterious ways. So
Exactly.
mhm.
As I was saying, I trust my god. Well, time to nurture this lovely creature back to health.
It appears everyone seems to be summoning creatures into this realm. The only one who has yet to do so is the one called Lucas.
Yeah. Well, Lucas has their own creature, so that's probably why. But I didn't mean to, and all the others were actually trying to do stuff.
Well, as I said, the divine have all their own ways of going.
Yeah, true.
Personally, I would appear for themselves to make a deal, but that is just my method of taking care of things. Come, let us leave.
When it comes to deals, I know Lucas would never make one.
He doesn't seem like to want to take a deal in his disadvantage, that's for sure.
No.
Oh,
No, Lucas would just take what he wants and just be done with it.
indeed. Okay. We
Wow.
Okay, you leave the area.
Mm-hmm.
Check, so we're writing it down. Alrighty then. That is all for your first training. You still have half the day left.
You know what I'm doing.
Yep. So, second thing, Lier, physical training.
Heck yeah.
You have your. What do you do with the egg in the meantime?
What?
The egg. You obtained a platinum egg. What are you doing with the platinum egg?
Gonna put it in my pocket.
It's the size of an ostrich egg.
You're not going to make a big omelet?
Wait a minute, I don't have pockets right now. I
Yeah.
forgot.
Do you just put it somewhere nearby? Do you leave it in your room somewhere warm? Do you leave it somewhere cold? Like, I need to track the egg. For egg reasons.
I am going to do a weird thing as a changeling, and I'm going to make an indent in my head and just put the egg there, like a kappa with water. I'll have pockets. Why not?
This
It's easier than balancing it.
an indent.
Hmm?
You have a big forehead then.
Nope. I'm basically making my head concave.
So you pretty much have a giant. Basically this is your head right now.
Well, oh, it's not that big. It's basically an egg holder on top of my head.
So something like this. I'm trying to imagine it. Something like
Just
this.
imagine a bowl on top of your head.
A big bowl on top of your head.
It's not that big, is it? You said an emu egg, not a
Well,
freaking dinosaur egg.
Slightly bigger than an emu egg. It says it's the size of your foot. Your foot is about as long as your head.
Okay, so. You know what? Oh, even better, kangaroo pocket.
So you're gonna do the marsupial thing and have a pouch now.
Yep. I'm a
So-
chancy. Deal with it.
Fine. You know, that's fine. That's the one I saw
It's not
coming.
an
That's
extra
why.
limb.
Yeah. Well, that would be too hard for you.
Exactly. I guess I'm just gonna go in
Making
the
a
eating
nature
area
check.
instead, because I can't train with an egg on my stomach.
Yeah, so you have to do something else. You don't want to crack the egg. Anyway, I'll come back to you for you later, so you can think what you want to do exactly. Lucas, What do you-
Yes.
what are you doing?
I don't know. I feel like a new man at the moment. Maybe I'm going to do some training as well.
Physical, magical, what kind of training?
You know, it's a library. It's full of characters' experiences. It's a small place. Are there any sort of like a brain training kind of?
Mental training?
Yeah.
Just play chess with Erica.
Osseous, I'm thinking you're gonna try and wake the fairy to learn the spell.
Yes.
Alona, you are gonna you're gonna probably learn a new spell as well from the Ifriti.
Retribution spell.
Poppy! What do I do?
Right?
Hello?
Hmm?
I can't hear
Really?
Poppy.
Me neither.
Hello?
Huh?
I'm asking Poppy, what are you doing for training?
Going to try find the next book.
Okay, so I know what to do. So we're gonna do Poppy first because it's the most predictable one. Poppy, you come to the next aisle where you would find the mysterious third book. Roll me an investigation. You already know the results, but you don't know what else you might find. 19. You look around for the book. You look around. You look around. You look around. Nope. 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 There's a book about you notice that one of the books is missing. Huh. Someone else must have taken that one. Probably not it. Look further. Look further. This is right here. Wait, this book. And then you look around. You see the different book that catches your eye. Is that a book of familiars? Echo casting. Pull it out. You look at it. You open it. And you start reading it. You don't know why, but it's just looking like echo casting. Oh! These are all ways to cast a spell and then cast it again later via some sort of other way. Via an object, another person, and even familiars. Interesting. So, this way I can cast something and then my familiar will cast it again later. Huh. Not what I'm exactly looking for, but this is neat.
Oh yeah, definitely does it. So I just sit down and start reading it. The other book and wait.
The other book can wait.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere, is it?
Ha 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 ha.
Nothing
So,
more.
do you want to learn? How do you want to learn this echo casting? Well, there's only one way to learn it. It's via an Arcana check. Anything else will not wield the right results.
Thankfully, my Arcana is pretty good, but that doesn't do shit if I roll that one.
Yeah. 7. You look at
Stop that
the
one.
way of familiar. You're still too new to familiar, so you're looking at it, it's like echo casting. So you cast it, then send the the spent magic towards the familiar. You're like, how do I send remnant magical to my familiar? You're too new to this, so you don't get it. It's like, huh? You just cast magic and then you're done, right? Is there more to magic than I thought?
I'm gonna ask Ellie.
Yeah, okay, so you're gonna have to find Ellie in a moment. Who's gonna be doing
Yeah.
your own training. So that's gonna be during Alona's segment, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
Okay, Ozzy, I'm gonna do you next.
Oh.
So, you're now in the living room and this fairy is still passed out. What do you do?
I'll just sit with it. Wait for it to wake up.
You wait for it to wake up? Just letting it rest? Let me do a quick roll, skis. It takes at least another 2 hours before it wakes up. And then so it wakes up. Huh? She looks around. That's a lot of gold!
Indeed.
She looks at you and then blinks. Hey, you. Yeah. Oh, you're the one who's trying to reach him. The guy who makes silver things and helps people. Oh,
Are you an answering machine or something?
no. Oh, no. I was playing a little tricksy on you. But your mind, your faith, your devotion was too strong, and instead of me pulling you in, you pulled me in. Maybe the old man wanted me to be pulled towards you. I know him, the one you were trying to reach. The man who makes silver. I mean, look at me. I'm all pretty and silver.
You are very silver, yes, indeed. Which is quite a contrast to the gold we've got around here.
Mm-hmm. So I
Are you
think,
just here to hinder me, or can you actually help?
well, since your will gave me the push, and since I know the old man, and I sort of know what you wanted, you want to make things living be one, but then one more, and then maybe one
Yes,
more, and
or
then one
two more.
more to make a grand old party.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Something like, oh, I know. Ooh, something. She pulls a bit of hair, puts it down, snaps a finger, and then another one of her appears. Something like this, right?
Do you have the same abilities?
Oh, you mean also magic? Yes. I mean, if I do this and the other one, I never do this. Sparkles appear on the left side. The first one and the second one, some little fireworks appear. So they're clearly doing two different things at once.
Nice. A Wukong fairy.
I was
That,
about to say.
Yeah. The fireworks.
That seems like the thing I was looking for, yes?
Yes. There is a time limit to 2 of us, maybe 3 of us, and 4 of us. But we can do it. I mean, a lot of fairies use these kind of tricks. Even I can do them. But this one, well, it's more the old man's flavor, using silver. And, sorry, enemy. Don't worry, just call me back later. And the other one snaps fingers, the other one poofs. So, do you have any silver? You have silver coins, right?
Yes, plenty.
Mm-hmm. How much do you show to the fairy?
I'll show 10 coins.
With 10 silver coins. Ooh. 1, 2, 3. Build the stacks in her small little hand like this. Oh, that's money. It has a value, but it's also the silver we need. Yes. And
Are you going to consume it to make something limited quantity?
yes.
It's not something you can teach me.
Oh, I can teach you. I'm just... So, for you, I need... This should be enough. Yeah, this should be enough. So, hands it back to you. So with that, we can create another silver you, who can move freely from you. For 2, 3, 4, and how much silver? Maybe 20 seconds-ish. To extend the timer, we would need more silver.
And it's consumed on usage, right? Or is it...
Yes. The silver is used to make the other you.
Or someone else?
Someone else? Oh, so you want to use that silver to create another one of someone else of silver. Huh. Yes, that is possible.
Nice.
In fact, the old man actually used that much silver for just one limb, but the difference is that he will give it unlimited time.
Well, one limb is not enough to do spells, I guess.
No.
It
It
might
can't.
depend on the spell, but if it's semantic, it's not going to work.
It's more or less that if you...
Silence.
The old man does it when you lose an arm and then replace it with a silver. And then you now have a silver arm that's you. That's what he did. So you use that much silver.
I just want to duplicate someone else for, 18 seconds, for example. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that should be enough. That's the cost. And you can just use it. Okay, now how does the old man do it? Like, I can do it like this, but, I'm a fairy. I do my own thing. But for someone like you honor the old man. You pray to him. So there's different spells, different ways. Oh, I know!
You're going to make me a fairy? No, that's silly. Ugh.
I can't do that. This place would not even allow me to if I could. Well, maybe a polymorph could work. Greater one, of course, but I can teach you this temporary cloning spell. Let's see here. You need at least 10 silver. Oh, I know what you need. Do you have a little bag? If you have a bag for me?
A bag?
A small little baggie.
Huh. Oh yeah, I've got a backpack.
Yeah. You might be able to cut off one of the smaller pockets and make that a baggie.
I've got a pouch.
Yeah. So you hand the pouch over?
Yes.
He puts the pouch. He's like, wiggles her fingers, and all kinds of dust comes from her fingers, falling into there until it fills the pouch to a degree, and then sit back. Fairy dust. You gotta need it.
Oh, this sounds like a limited thing.
Oh, don't worry. You don't. It doesn't disappear when you use it. It's just needed to, be able to do it correctly. Because I can't teach you exactly the method way. So we're just doing my way and his way combined. Does that make sense? So you need a little bit of me in there.
Well, I like you so far.
Yes. Ooh, I can already see the fun little tricks and things you can do to your friends with that. Suddenly, a silver dam is right next to them, making them, you can go boom. Trixie. Alright.
Yeah.
So,
It's a very explosive combination.
so, the old man did something. So, he moved his hands like so. I'm just doing movement. They're doing the somatic things. So you see the movement of her hands. And then he spoke the words, "Out of thy silver, create another." Out of thy silver, create another. And then the silver goes poof. And then becomes something else. Yeah, the power of his thoughts, prayers, and such. Now, I know you can't do that fully, and I know you can't do the divine thingy-mabob. So, instead, when he does this left hand movement, just hold the bag of fairy dust and jingle it.
Okay.
And with that, do the rest, and I think, and then at the end, snap your fingers, and then it will appear.
Well, time to try. And he tries it on the fairy.
Quick Arcana check.
Arcana.
Poof! Another fairy comes right next to her, and she looks like, "Wow, you're a natural!" And the other one goes, "Wow, I'm already back."
Oh, this is very useful.
She specs it. She specs herself. It's like, yeah. I even impressed my own teachings. Oh, look at that little me. Look at that little silver bell. Yeah, she's cool. She's good. You did really good. And after 18 seconds, she poofs. Mortal limit. What can you do?
Well, this is very good so far.
Yes, you understand it. So, it's gonna be a homebrew spell naturally, but this is basically Dian Knecht's silver replication.
Yep.
So it's called Dian Knecht's silver replication.
I'll create something. Yep.
Yeah, but you get how it works. And by the way, the clones only have 1 HP, so if they get hit during any moment of time, they poof out of existence.
Since it's consuming 10 silver, it's a cantrip, or is it a spell slot?
It's a level 1 spell slot, and upcasting it will create more clones from level 3. Level 2, it would increase the AC of it from 10 to 15. And after that, it just creates more clones with all AC of 15.
Right, so level 1, its AC is...
Yeah. At level 1, it creates a silver clone for 10 silver that has the current stats of the person you're cloning as, with the ability stats and everything, but it only has 1 HP and 10 AC regardless of anything. Level 2. At level 2, that AC gets increased to 15, so it doesn't go down at almost anything that blows at it. And at level 3, it creates another clone. At level 4, it creates another clone. And at level 5, the AC, all clones' ACs increase to 18. And if you have
Okay,
another
got
level
it.
above that, I can still write something up to that. But they will always keep 1 HP because, you know. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So, since you helped me, do you want to stay in this realm or go back?
Well, I only see gold, yeah? And gold is nice, but I don't know where I am right now. It's kind of comfy here. And no other fairies do. Stop my little trixies myself. Can you explain what's going on exactly? Because, well, I'll teach you this. I have still no idea where I am. I don't mind, but... Could you explain?
Oh, this is a special realm. It's just...
Okay. So you teach them everything, or do you want to omit some information?
I'm just giving basic information about what the realm is, and that they probably don't want to stay here because I don't know what's going to happen when we're all gone.
Uh-huh. Okay. Fine. Let's do Alona next.
Nice.
Alona!
Yeah.
It took a bit, but your flames of vengeance comes up to you. Right. There are other ways to burn those people with righteous flames. Personally, not my style, but I know of it. Alright. I'm just gonna take a guess. And I'm just gonna try something. But there is a spell for you that would only burn those you see deemed to burn in the flames of justice, but anyone close enough will recover that pain you inflict on them, as they are justified to get your graces. It is not something I know exactly, but I've seen it in action, and I understand at the very least the basics of it. Does that sound acceptable?
So it would burn anyone in an area that I deem needs to be burned, and the others have grace and they don't get hurt?
Mm-hmm. And we're still going to use a phoenix feather for this. But, at the very least, it seems completely out on your alley. Burn those who scorn you, protect and heal those you wish to protect.
Would consume the phoenix feather.
It would still consume the phoenix feather regardless. It is that powerful of a spell. And I'm afraid that is your mortal limit. Until you find a way to replace the cause of the phoenix feather, you would always require it to be cast. Or maybe there may be another way you can do a similar price to it. Who knows? Anyway, he grabs another phoenix feather out of the fountain. These are good enough. He hands it to you. So, I believe you are familiar with the spell you cast to catch my attention. It's similar, but the ignition is the thoughts of protecting those you love, attacking those you hate, and simply burning the feather and throwing it. Much simpler, no?
It sounds like what I did last time.
Yes, but this time you burn the feather instead.
I still throw it, right?
Yes, you still have to throw it. So, do you
Wait,
try?
Who am I going to throw it? The golem?
Yeah, he spawns another golem. Don't worry.
Which golem is
Just so,
friendly and which
just,
one not?
just. Oh no, just a golem, and he stands next to it.
Fob stand next to it.
Huh?
Does Fob stand next to it?
Yes.
Nice.
Okay.
I basically do what I did the last time. I use firebolts to ignite the feather.
No, you don't do firebolt. He says do fireball.
Fireball to ignite the feather. It seems like overkill.
Okay.
Okay. Fireball. Ball to ignite the feather. And
The
again,
the feather costs
I
gold.
think both of my father, whom I hate, and I want dead, and I want him to suffer in fiery hell. And I think of my aunt, Amelia, who deserves to get grace and be saved.
Okay.
And I throw the feather.
And the fireball at the same time.
Yep.
Arcana check. Advantage. 24. You throw it towards the golem. When you do blood infusion, it mostly gets a bit darker, but this ball goes more golden and becomes brighter and brighter, and then strikes the golem straight there, as well as hitting, well, Fav. And while the golem melts away, Fav is just standing there grinning like nothing's going on. And he nods. Well, that was very natural to you. I didn't even feel a thing. Well, normally I wouldn't feel a thing anyway, but in this form, I took a risk. But I already knew that risk wouldn't kill me. You have now learned how to do a Phoenix Blessed Fireball. It doesn't do extra damage, but if there's allies caught in the blast, it heals them for the damage done. Divided, by the way. So if there's 3 allies, so let's say if you hit multiple targets and it does 50 damage and there's 3 allies, those 3 allies will get 50 divided by 3. This is for total damage, by the way. So
it stacks the damage for all enemies.
yeah. So basically, if the fireball hits multiple enemies, that total will be divided to the allies to heal them. So it's really great if everyone is piled up on each other. But if it's, let's say, 3 allies surround 1 person and you cast it then, and you do 25 damage, that 25 gets divided by let's say, 4 allies surrounding it, it heals less.
And can I do blood-infused Phoenix Blast Fireball?
Yes. But if you do it, but doing so will damage your allies, because the acid damage will be applied to them as well.
Okay.
So basically, you will decrease the healing at that point.
Now the real question, where do I get a lot of Phoenix Feathers?
You're going to have to find out how to get Phoenix Feathers, or find a replacement for it.
Oh, would you mind getting me just a little supply of Phoenix Feathers to get me going for the upcoming?
I can only give you 1 at a time. I
We can
cannot
get them when we're back in the in the other realm.
You wish for me to return to the elemental plane of fire and hunt a phoenix for you. Are you daft?
No, you're coming to the mortal realm, right? But here
Exactly. That
you're
means
plucking out of the fountain.
I can only pluck out one at a time. That is
You
its
still do
limit.
that when we're in the mortal realm.
He pulls one more out. See? And until this one is gone, I cannot replenish it.
Can you still do that when we're in the mortal realm? When we're back?
I do not know. You should ask the owner of the realm.
Erica!
Erica's inside with Ozzy. Erica's inside somewhere. But when you want to go to Erica, Poppy comes walking out.
Boop! Oh, hey, Ellie,
Hi?
Uh-huh.
can I ask you something?
Sure.
Pulls out the book and shows it to her. I found this book and I was trying to learn it, but I don't get it. Can you help me?
Yeah? What are you trying to learn?
Spellcasting.
Double casting?
Echo casting.
Echo casting. Well, have I heard of it before?
History check. $16. Echo casting sounds something like double casting, which you know is a sorcerer. Or quick casting. Like, it sounds like another way of doing that, but you never heard of echo casting exactly, but you think it's something in that ballpark. You might have heard something about it, maybe an experiment from your father. You're not sure.
Do I know if I can help Poppy with it?
You can most certainly try, but you know, father speaks up because he's there. Echo casting is an unusual way of casting magic. It essentially is putting a mirror in front of you when casting a spell, but instead, when you cast a spell in the mirror will then cast it again later. An echo.
Sounds like a cool spell to learn.
Do note that the reason nobody uses it is because echo casting has the downside of hitting anyone that's in its path. So let's say I cast on the mirror a powerful spell, and anyone caught in between will be hit, but if the mirror will be facing my way, I will be hit by my own spell. It is why nobody employs that kind of thing unless they have control of a battlefield. Let alone the annoyance of bringing on an object that is able to do an echo cast. Because if your opponent knows about it, they will most likely shatter the mirror within mere seconds.
That makes sense. You still want to learn it, Poppy?
She points to the familiar that's now on top of her head. This guy can move forever and make sure that no one's in the way. So yeah.
Okay, I'll try to help.
Yay! Thanks, Ellie!
He folds his arms. Echo casting via familiar. Yes, that is the most optimal way. Do note that echo casting means you cast the spell technically twice, so it would cost twice as much magic.
I know.
He nods. Hopefully you can master it to reduce its cost to 1.
Only
Okay.
one way to find out.
Yeah, so that will be a later. That will be a later thing because I want to do at least Lucas and Lier, real quick. Lier, have you figured out what you want with the egg? Lier?
Oh, sorry. I was
Muted.
the button was had muted me. Okay, so I'm gonna check for signs of life from the egg at any point. Like, heck, might get Alona's help to see if they know anything about dragon hatching, and if not, if there's nothing alive in there, and it just seems like a hollow egg.
So you want to? So you're also gonna go to Alona, who's now with Poppy, real quick.
Basically, regardless
Okay.
of dragon,
Popular.
who knows what's happening?
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
you know what? You know what? No, wait. Do turtles come from eggs?
Do they?
They're reptilian folk.
I'm not sure. You have to look it up.
Ever,
I don't
ever
think they
seen
do
a
because
lizard
the
give live birth?
like do they? Like I don't think they
Do
do.
it.
Do they?
They're in the sand, and then they come up from the sand, and they go to the sea. And they get
Or, or,
after
or they
them.
or they get medical degrees.
Nope. They lay eggs.
Oh, I'm gonna go to Ausias then. Never mind Alona, I'm going to Ausias. Ausias! Scream their name like,
Uh,
heck are you?
I'll do this before you learn the silver thing. So this is when the fairy is still asleep
Okay.
for time frame. So, uh, yeah. So Oz is in the living room, sitting next to the fairy, who's still
Hey,
knocked out.
Ausias.
Mhm.
What?
Got a question for you.
Uh,
Your people come from eggs, right?
yeah.
Do you mind helping me check if there's life in this?
So she's platinum egg.
It shows the egg. Yeah. You know how to check if a egg is you know well.
You let it
You may
breathe.
you may make a medicine check with advantage, Arceus.
Fine, I'll actually help.
Thank you. If you need help from me as well, I'll help.
Okay, Arceus,
Can I-
as you
Would,
examine
would
this,
I have been able to give Bardic though?
do you want to give them Bardic to increase the
Yes,
score?
just to make sure that I'm not.
Okay, give them Bardic Inspiration and roll real quick. I will allow this.
It's a D8.
Yep.
So who's rolling, me or them?
You. Because you're
Okay.
Oh no, he rolled. It doesn't matter. He's got a 6, so 27.
Okay.
Arceus, you look at this egg. It's a very healthy egg. It's actually about to hatch at any moment. That's what you think. If your knowledge of turtles and eggs, this looks like a healthy egg that's about to hatch.
It's probably fine.
Anything else you can tell me? A little bit more specific.
It's an egg.
Yes.
Oh,
How is the
Eh.
egg?
Spherical, intact.
Is there? Okay. Does it look like an egg with something in it, or does it just look like a container?
It's about to hatch, so there's
I'm sorry,
something
what?
in it.
I. Uh, Lier's looks a little like disturbed. Oh, crud! I'm gonna be a dragon mom or something. Well, fuck. Um,
If you
thanks?
don't want that, you can just smash it on the ground.
No, 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 no. Listen, I got this from my dragon god. I'm not gonna about to do that. I'm a go. Thanks.
Yeah.
If you need help, just say so.
Yeah. Also, she may roll a religion check to find out what dragon god that was.
There's not a lot of them out there, you know.
Yeah, but maybe you can find out the specific one by just doing quick religion checks. Like
Oh, that's advantage, so it's the first one, I guess.
11.
11.
It doesn't take you long to figure out that the thing looks like it was made of platinum. It's a dragon egg. Yeah, it's a bit odd, but it could be Bahamut. But it could also be another dragon, maybe a platinum dragon of some sort. Bahamut's the only one you know for sure. But why would Bahamut give an egg to Lier? That doesn't make sense to you. It's like, whatever. Okay. Anything else you want to do with the egg? Because we're running out of time, and I want to do some last things.
Well, I'm going back to the kitchen and getting back my clothes.
Okay, you get all your clothes back. They got them slightly bigger.
Well, start to make a very warm jacket and keep the egg warm for now.
Okay. Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, that's that. Then we'll do Lucas real quick. Sir Lucas,
Yes.
your mental training. What exactly are you mentally training your knowledge? What are you doing exactly?
I imagine this probably involves a quick nip back into the library. It's just like any kind of puzzle, any kind of thing that makes me use my brain.
So you're gonna ask the book for some sort of brain teasers or that kind of thing.
Yes. With the explicit understanding that I will not write the answer in the book.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Well-
your brain's absolutely gonna be tickled.
Keep the clown out.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay. Once again, you find yourself in this void room and a creature standing before you. And up comes not one, not two, but 4 chessboards with different types of scenarios. It looks at you. The ultimate challenge. Change these fates against the holder of fate.
Wow.
Ah, dragon chess.
You can already see from passive insight. Yeah, these are all losing battles, but there might be a way to come out. Like everyone thinks you're down in some sort of way, and you need to find your way of beating these puzzles. Okay.
So it's a chess puzzle.
Yeah, they're chess puzzles, but I'm not gonna make the actual chess puzzles because that means we need to both be good at chess. So, I would like you, if you want to solve all these puzzles, you need to roll for each puzzle an insight and, well, insight to see how to change the situation, and depending on how you want to solve it, you need to either do a sleight of hand if you want to be a cheating bastard, or you may roll investigation to solve it the right way.
Okay, so
Do note that if you try, from the warning from the library, that cheating fate comes with a cost. But probably you only get with a cost if you get caught. So if you do attempt to cheat and fail, something bad will happen to your character regardless.
Yeah, I'm not walking out of here with worse names like that.
Yeah.
Come out and find out my middle name is Susan or some bollocks.
Yeah. Oh no!
Okay, sir.
These punishments are much
They
different than
might
you
have
think.
never existed.
So,
That's going too far. But this is still a challenge. But you know, you're literally challenging fate to beat it. So if you guys cheat fate and fate finds out, fate will punish you. This is still a game, so there are going to be consequences, but it's not going to be like major, like you don't exist, but more like you're going to have some terrible things happening to you then.
okay, so 4 puzzles, insight and potentially investigation per puzzle.
Yeah. So
Right.
first, for each puzzle, you have to first roll insight, and then I will tell you something, and then you may roll investigation. 8.
Okay, 8.
So what you see for the first puzzle, it's hard to gauge, but you are stuck in a very defensive position. And going straight into attack will not be the wisest choice, but other than that, you're not sure how to pull out defense. You may roll investigation, or you may try to cheat.
Funny enough, it's a plus 12 on both, so I've been bitten by this room too many times.
16. You try to think it through, looking ahead in turns, thinking what fate might have in store for you. You move one piece, they move another piece. You move one piece, they move another piece. And after 20 turns, you get checkmated. Darn. Didn't succeed, but you did get an idea of how things would go. It's like, darn it, I didn't win, but I do understand that I'm gonna get better. Next one.
I did not see those knights coming.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You keep thinking, and you look at this. You are in an offensive position with very low numbers, and any wrong attack will result into a domino effect of you losing every valuable piece that you have. In fact, there might only be like 2 right moves to even go ahead. Roll investigation, or sleight of hand if you want to be a cheating bastard.
Ah, but now I know how you play the game.
You look at this, and you're like, they're setting up a trap. If I move these pieces, in fact, the other route that you would think, no, if I do that, I might get an adventure moment, but in like 4 turns, half of my good pieces will be in danger, and I'll be on the defense, or I have to give them up. The only right way is to move one piece backwards, they move one piece forwards, and the moves keep going, keep going, keep going, and eventually, you don't lose any pieces, but you put them in checkmate. You win.
Well, third time's the charm. Let's see.
Not. You go to the first. You start to contemplate, and you think. Sometimes when there's multiple options, the other option might lead you down a path that will still be failure. Nice thing to know. Moving on. Next challenge. Insight. 17. It looks like you are indeed on the back foot, but both sides can still win equally. You just don't know how exactly. This is a little bit tougher. Investigation or be a cheating bastard.
I've got this in the bag, and my name isn't Lucas.
Well, Lucas, you look at this and you're like, yeah, here, 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 and keep moving and keep moving. And then Eventually, you both only have kings left. It's a draw.
Oh. Well, if you can't beat him, draw him, I guess.
You can see beings speak up. Not many can say that they had a draw with fate. For some reason, this felt like you learned a bit more than you thought in the last game. Sure, you won and you understood it better, but for some reason, having a draw with fate itself feels more impactful. It means you're on the same level as fate. You're not defying fate, but you're on the same level of thinking of it. Last puzzle.
Rather fittingly,
Great time.
tiebreaker.
Insights? This is the toughest puzzle of all. You look at it, it's like, oh god, my king is over there up front. Why is it over there? Why is my knight over there? Why is my queen gone already? What's my rook doing there? Why are my pawns all scattered across the board? And why is everything done neatly for them? Oh, the worst fate possible you can imagine to you. How are you gonna get yourself out of this?
Ah, the plans of fate remain as ever a mystery. Fuck!
Option 1, panic.
Oh.
Crying is a free action.
Reaction.
Indeed
You
it is.
decide. No.
Alright,
The only
we'll
way
call
to
it a
come
draw.
out of this is to cheat fate. And right when you're about to do cheat, your hand gets grabbed by the creature in the library. The creature library looks at you. You saw the worst fate possible, and you try a desperate way to cheat fate.
I'm going to give up the piece that I was tempted to use and say. And the moral of this game is that cheating fate is a poor move indeed.
Ah, but you can sacrifice something to cheat fate. Like your name and everything.
You're not
Again.
fucking here, shut up!
Oh, For those who try to cheat fate, a penalty is needed.
Ah, but there's that much
Hopeful.
humanity at its very core.
Let's go with
Trying
your
to be
hand.
masters of our own fate.
Tomorrow morning, you will feel something that should be impossible in this realm. Let's go with your hand.
Right?
Sleep well. And the library returns back to normal.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
You will
You
not
really
know.
tempted fate, didn't you?
And with that, I think we have to call it. We're out of time. I'm surprised training arc is still going.
So, hey,
It's a fun arc, though.
Todd,
Yes.
can I get a baby gender reveal?
You don't know what I did. You need to wait.
I do not. Dang. It better not be a Kinder Surprise.
It might. At least it's fancy.
If it's one of those decorational eggs just full of power like a freaking amulet, I'm not gonna be happy.
Anyway,
You'll never get
With
the
that
glitter
said-
out of the darkness.
I guess we're still stuck in this realm for another day or two. But hey, we will learn more next time. If you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, whatever it charges. And this is goodbye from your Dungeon Master Kotlol. It is goodbye from Poppy.
Hi.
It's goodbye from Alona.
Hi, everyone.
It's goodbye from Lier.
Goodbye.
It is goodbye from Lucas.
I don't feel so good.
And it's goodbye from Ozzius.
Bye.
Thank you, and remember to stay charged. Later.